Hello, everyone. This is Darcinovia here, once again, back with another stream. Now, it's later than I normally do a stream, so I don't know if my audience who are going to watch this live, if it'll be bigger or smaller. I don't know. We'll wait and see. And as usual, I don't know what I'm particularly going to talk about this time, so I'll just run with it and just see what happens. So yeah. Now, for why this stream was as late as it was, I had stuff I had to take care of, and I was expecting a phone call, and I didn't want to, take the risk of missing out on a phone call that would have been very important. So, for that reason, I put my stream to start at 5. Well, I started a little early because let's be real, it doesn't make that much of a difference if you start 30 seconds early or a minute early or 2 minutes early. It's all the same shit. And unfortunately, with the way YouTube's algorithm works, it's going to be a little bit before people see this stream after the fact, because if you are not, a paid member on StreamYard, where you get certain privileges where your streams, when you are done recording them, they get pretty much instantly uploaded. While depending on the day, sometimes the stream could be basically available almost immediately. And others, unless people have, click the notification, they're not going to be able to see the streams, see this stream right away. Of course, this isn't exclusively applying to me, where that may be a problem. It also applies to other streamers as well. Unless you're like advertiser friendly to YouTube, you're not going to fucking get shit, which is why in this day and age, in order to actually get people to see your streams, you have to share it, on other platforms. Or if you have people that you're working with, if you're part of a multi-channel network, God forbid, have them help share your content so you can be exposed. So for those of you who are watching this after the fact, if you don't want to miss out on my streams, just make sure you click the notification on the stream and my channel in general, because there's a lot of instances where, I did not know certain people upload a video until months after the fact, or even a day, or depending on how frequent I watch certain YouTubers. So just giving you a heads up. Thoughts on Lightyear? I don't know. Disney's out of ideas. I mean, is there really anything else to say? I mean, the animation looks nice, but that's just my thoughts. I don't really have any strong opinions for or against Lightyear, honestly. I mean, it's Disney. What can you expect? Disney is going to continue to recycle, ideas that have already run their course, because Disney is all about that money. And they're not about actually, producing a work of art. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Ice Age? I thought that movie fucking series was dead. I almost forgot that series existed. Oh, God. Yeah, well, what can you expect? Late stage capitalism, the art that we're getting is garbage. It's either you have a rehash of stuff that we already have gotten, or you have stuff that we grew up with and love be nothing more than propaganda pieces pushed by the State Department to push their fascistic agenda on the populace, or intentionally create controversy so they could cause a manufactured cultural war, which I know this is going to sound like a conspiracy theory, but what the fuck? Fuck it. I'll just do it anyway. I believe the entire controversy with Disney Star Wars was manufactured on purpose by Disney to purposely cause a cultural war, because Disney did not buy Star Wars to make money. They bought it to spread propaganda. Oh God. South Park. The less we talk about that, the better. Honestly, I just don't find comedy that punches down at the most vulnerable, populations to be funny. Oh God. Oh. In the late era of, late stage capitalism, we're just going to see remakes come out more, and sequels of franchises that, let's be real, that should have been retired a long time ago. It doesn't make sense that they do this, but they'll do it anyway. I've heard mixed things about Eternals. Then again, the Marvel films is just, I'm not really that interested. Maybe Spider-Man Far From Home, because of the possibility of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being, in the movie. So that would be cool to see, them again. And because, you have some, characters from the Sam Raimi and, in the Mark Webb films, make an appearance. I mean, but that's about it. But then again, the only Marvel movie I can say I'm really truly hyped for is Doctor Strange, multi-universe of madness. That's purely because of Sam Raimi directing it. I mean, that should be interesting. It is Phase 4 as so outside of the, shows. It's just not interesting. I just do not care about the Eternals. Who the fuck are these guys? It's like, who gives a shit? Scream 5. Oh, God. Scream 4. Oh, God. Fucking so stupid. I've heard good things about Killer 7, though I've never played it. Oh, I see. Oh, God. Then again, I'm not a Shrek fan, so I can't. So I'm not gonna I'm not get angry one way or the other about Shrek, because I'm not really a big Shrek fan. Fantastic Four. I know that they've announced there's going to be a Fantastic Four movie. It's like every Signal Fantastic Four movie has sucked before now. They all have been horrible. There was a one that was like never released officially, and it's like it's that one's bad. The ones that was released in like the mid 2000s was bad. The one in 2015 was bad. It's like Fantastic Four has not had one good film in its entire lifespan. So if Marvel managed to make a Fantastic Four movie that's like better than the rest, it's not going to do much. I mean, the standards for the Fantastic Four is so low that anybody can make a better Fantastic Four movie, and it wouldn't really be much of an accomplishment. I mean, the Fantastic Four are like one of Marvel's most important characters, in the comics, and they've not been done right, at all. And outside of cartoons, they've never been done right. So yeah, I personally, I don't know. It depends on who's directing Fantastic Four. I mean, the Fantastic Four films, it has never had a reputation of anything good. When you hear Fantastic Four, people are like, "Oh God, it's another one of those shitty movies." I personally think it'd be a good idea to introduce the Fantastic Four in another Marvel film first, so people can get excited for the Fantastic Four, because there's nothing to be hyped about. The Fantastic Four, every movie has sucked. Say what you will about X-Men, but you could actually count on one hand of X-Men movies that are good. You can't do that for Fantastic Four because they've all sucked. Well, Halloween is tomorrow, or is it? No, it's actually Sunday. And since I'll be working, for the next few days, I am doing this stream today, which is why I call it the end of October. For all these streams, I call them the end because it's the last day that I'm available to do that stream. And some occasions I've actually done it on the last day. It's just some novelty that I've done. Now, I'm looking forward to see what people are going to tune in this time, considering that I'm doing it later than normal, that I may actually get different guests, who watch this stream than I normally would if I did it at 2 or at 12. I have no clue. I haven't watched Adult Swim, and I don't care about Survivor. I hated it. I've hated Survivor, since its inception. The idea is just a bunch of privileged fucking people simulate, oh, we're stuck on an island, even though they're not really stuck. It's just some stupid bullshit. It's a terrible show. It always has been a terrible show. And the fact that people still watch that fucking shit, it's like, seriously? No. Survivor is garbage. That's my thoughts about that. And as for Adult Swim, I don't really have, I'm pretty much indifferent. In fact, I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in like over a decade now. So I don't know what's on TV. If I watch anything, it's on YouTube. So I don't know what show is ending after 16 years. Oh, well, I never watched that show once, and I'm glad I never did, because it never interests me. None of those shows interest me. None of them did. I don't know. That's a difficult one. Do I want to listen to some dumbass, freaking middle class fuckhead, say a bunch of stupid shit and borderline racist to his audience and call everybody fascists, even though it doesn't mean anything? He calls everyone Nazis and basically has made the term tanking me mean nothing. Or do I want to cringe at, a person that uses Ewoks imagery, Star Wars in general, and doesn't actually do any Star Wars content? I mean, if you're not going to do Star Wars, I mean, you should not even use any names or imagery from Star Wars. Cringe Unhinged is more appropriate than Ewoks Unhinged. It's a garbage channel. Yeah, of course they're going to. It's fucking trash. I mean, anything that's garbage and, in on fucking American TV is always going to fucking last until God knows, for an eternity, because it's fucking dumb. I mean, that's just how it is. They're not going to fucking. They're never going to fucking end shit like that. Oh, Bad Mouse actually did a follow up to his Vosh video. That should be interesting to watch later. When I'm not on stream. Sorry, I'm just going around. Family Guy is fucking garbage. I could fucking rant about Family Guy, okay. Back in the late 1990s, when I was like, I was like 10 or 11, or when Family Guy was first aired. It's like, because I was that phase of my life where I was more edgy. Like, Family Guy to me, it's like, oh my god, this is the shit. Oh my god, did they actually just do that? Did he just say that? Oh my god, it's just the thing about Family Guy's humor is it's juvenile, and it's, in fact, I'd say it's more childish than The Simpsons, despite the fact that Simpsons, in the early years I'm referring to, its humor was actually funny. It was actually clever. The people that wrote The Simpsons were actually creative and didn't actually recycle the same joke all the time. Now, I'm going by the early years of The Simpsons, mind you. Not the current incarnation of The Simpsons. I'm going by classic Simpsons. Family Guy, on contrast, I know there's a lot of fans of Family Guy, like, who say, oh, the first 3 seasons were great. They were much better than the modern stuff. But if you actually really think about it, there's nothing different between the early seasons of Family Guy compared to the later seasons. The only reason why the early seasons appear to be so much better is because Family Guy at that time was something new. And the humor that Family Guy did at that point, it didn't like overstay its welcome until like it got to like a certain season. Some people, had their breaking point with Family Guy. To me, it was the Simpsons crossover. That was my breaking point with the show, and I haven't watched it since that episode because Family Guy, in a nutshell, it's just, it's nothing more than a bunch of racist, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, bullshit. I don't care if some of the people who wrote it were Jewish. I don't care. The kind of society that we live in, when you have a bunch of right-wing dipshits constantly being exposed to this punching down at people, it influences an entire generation's way of thinking. Like transphobia, Family Guy's had instance of that. Homophobia. I don't care if it's taken some stance sometimes in support of these things. The fact that it punches down at these people time and time again has created this toxic atmosphere that currently exists. South Park is guilty of this too, but South Park doesn't pretend to be something that it isn't. Family Guy tries to. Not to mention, like, the show, it should have been put out of its misery a long time ago. Had Family Guy been canceled, and stayed canceled, Family Guy would be remembered as a cult classic instead of this, oh god, this show is so bad. It's like, say what you will about The Simpsons. The Simpsons, in the modern era, is nowhere near as bad as modern Family Guy. Nowhere near as bad as modern Family Guy. The way The Simpsons does its humor, even to this day, yeah, modern Simpsons, like, its humor is bland compared to its early years. But if you could actually compare Simpsons to Family Guy Family Guy, it's just being edgy for the sake of being edgy. None of the humor isn't funny. It punches down. The humor is demented. Like, it's disturbing just how it basically makes basically jokes of domestic abuse. I mean, one of the episodes, like, I just couldn't like put my brain around it. Like, Meg, when she finally stood up for herself and basically told her family on off, and basically finally just had enough. The episode basically made it so seem like, oh, her being abused is actually a good thing for the family. It's like, what the fuck? What kind of fucking fucked up message is that? And I'm pretty sure there are women that have been abused that probably have seen that episode. It's like, what kind of message is that to send to young women anyway? That's fucked up. It really is fucked up. It really is. And not to mention the show in general, like the characters have deteriorated for the worst. Like, I guess you could say the Flandersization, that they did it to all the characters in Family Guy, with maybe some exceptions, like Stewie. But even then, like, the characters, they were always, like, Peter was always an idiot and was always an asshole. Lois was always, she was always a mean woman. Chris was always an idiot. Meg was always the butt of everyone's jokes. Stewie, was probably the only character that I actually like in the modern era Family Guy. And Brian is just the avatar of the, Seth MacFarlane, and even he got sick of the show. Even he got sick of it. He wanted to kill the show, honestly. So when you could tell that these people are just don't have it in them anymore. It's like, and not to mention American Dad, since you brought that up, Max Singer Bro 35. 35. That show is it's Family Guy, except with different characters. Sure, American Dad is nowhere near as bad as modern Family Guy is, but it's not that different of a show. Like, if you showed it to anybody that has only watched Family Guy, who's never seen American Dad before, they would just think it's a Family Guy spinoff. I mean, I can't say anything about Seth MacFarlane, how he is as a person, but you could tell he hates the fucking stuff that he's making. Because Family Guy, like, it's become just like The Simpsons, but much worse, honestly. What ruined The Simpsons was The Simpsons becoming the very thing that The Simpsons critiqued. Family Guy is just trying to, make things as edgy as possible while still being able to, stay on air. It's just not funny. Edgy humor is only funny if you're like some freaking high school fucking twat that thinks that kind of crap is funny. It's toilet humor. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, they had any balls, they would have kept Brian dead instead of just like, oh yeah, Brian. We killed Brian, but we brought him back. Like, they should have kept him freaking dead. Sure, that would have freaking, like, may have ruined the show, but who gives a shit? Family Guy has already fucking went down the toilet. Ever since freaking, like, they freaking, I don't even remember what season it started to get bad, because I stopped being a regular watcher of Family Guy around season 8. It's just the show. It just got repetitive. The humor, it just stopped being funny, and every character, just everything that every unique trait a character has is just basically gone. By season like 10. I haven't watched. I didn't watch American Dad that much, honestly. It's just, here's the thing about these shows. Family Guy did start off, in its early years as something that, okay, this humor is interesting. It's kind of, this is funny. But that's what Family Guy was. The reason Family Guy was more popular, after it was canceled, because there wasn't any show like it. And then when it got brought back, it lost everything that made it unique. Because the show was being basically like The Simpsons until the point where it became the very thing that it criticizes. Like The Simpsons episode, at least the crossover with Family Guy, was the last straw for me. I just fuck this show. The show is horrible. Like, even the chicken fight with Homer and Peter was like not even funny. I hate the show. I don't want to watch Family Guy. Oh yeah, it did have a spinoff and it got canceled because, oh wait, we're going to do a show about Cleveland, but we're not actually going to continue the show, and it got canceled within a few seasons because, Cleveland couldn't hold his own show. Not to mention, Cleveland was not really funny. Anyway, I don't really want to talk about Family Guy anymore. It's just, I had to say it because, Family Guy is just, to me, it's trash. Like, the show should have been canceled a long time ago. Like, say what you will about South Park. I don't like the show, honestly. But South Park at least actually evolved and actually learned to adapt with the times. While Family Guy it's just doubling down on the crap that it's been doing for the older seasons. It's like Family Guy pretends it's something that isn't, unlike South Park and The Simpsons, and that's why I consider Family Guy the worst of them. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about Family Guy anymore. That show is trash. It's toilet humor. That's essentially what it is. Well, yeah, that's over. I know Dune is out, so for those of you who are going to ask me about the movie Dune, I haven't seen it yet, so I cannot tell you what I think of it. When I have a chance to see it, I'm gonna wait like a few weeks because I don't like going to the theater like close to a movie's release because I like to have the best seats. So as soon as things die down a bit, I will see the Dune. I mean, I'm looking forward to Dune all year, and waiting like a week or two more to see Dune is not going to hurt anyone. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. I'm just going to say this. Fuck Injustice Batman and fuck Injustice Superman. I mean, Injustice is a perfect example on why liberals are incapable of talking about fascism and why liberals are incapable of actually critiquing it. Because it's like, oh my God, Batman, he's the example we should follow. It's Superman, he's going too far. It's like, if anybody knows anything about the Injustice world of DC, by the way, the Injustice games don't just have two games. It also has comics, which there's the first series of comics covers like the first 5 years, year 1 through 5, which is the years between the prologue of Injustice until the present day, and then you currently have a comic book series, at least I believe you do, that details the events between Injustice 1 and Injustice 2. And it's just the very fact that comics bend over backwards to portray Batman as the good guy, even though he's like no better than Superman. In fact, he's a lot worse in many ways. Like Batman's no kill policy, I've always felt it was problematic in general, considering okay, there's a huge difference between killing criminals like the Joker, who have killed millions in the comics, than killing someone who actually can be saved, like Harvey Dent. And Superman's automatically the bad guy because he just killed the fucking Joker. He killed the goddamn Joker in Injustice, and suddenly, oh my god, Superman's lost his mind. Oh my god, Superman has gone too far. In this stupid nonsense, like, oh, it always starts with one. No, it doesn't, you idiot. It's just this self-righteous, hypocritical bullshit of Batman it's never called out in the fucking games themselves. It's never called out. His hypocritical bullshit of his inaction getting people killed. It's like the liberals are not capable of fucking, critiquing fascism. Injustice Superman is a fascist. Yes, he's a fascist. But to say that Batman isn't a fascist himself also is fucking dumb. It's like Superman's like an open fascist, the Republicans, and freaking Batman is essentially Trump. Not well, Biden, whatever. You know what I mean. It's just so fucking dumb. If you wanted to do a universe where everything is morally gray and morally complex, you know what? You want who did that first and has done it better? Alan fucking Moore. Watchmen is a better Injustice story than Injustice is. Because in Watchmen, every single hero in the story, every single superhero, when you read the pages, I feel nothing but revulsion for every character that I read. And I think Watchmen is brilliant. It's a way better story than Injustice when it comes to grounding superheroes into reality. I don't even know what the hell Injustice is supposed to be. Is it supposed to be like some what-if story, some Elseworld story? Possibly. But if they wanted to do a story that involves morally gray characters, Watchmen was a great guy to go on. But wait, no, Alan Moore is too much of a talented writer who actually can critique fascism, who actually can talk about it and talk about it well without coming off as being pretentious like freaking the fucking writing team of Injustice. Oh yes, let's make Superman a fascist. Okay. Why does he become a fascist? Oh, his wife and unborn childhood. Oh yeah, so he suddenly becomes a space Nazi. It's like the logic of the Injustice games is so stupid that the real Superman, it would take more than that for him to become a fucking fascist. It's like Superman is supposed to be the symbol of hope. If Superman just goes a 180 and does it so fucking easily, then was Superman in the Injustice universe, was he really a beacon of hope at all? When it didn't take that much for him to become a fucking fascist dictator? Yes, losing his wife and child is a tragedy. Batman has been through a lot fucking shit too in the comics. You didn't see him fucking go around killing people, but wait, in the Injustice universe, Batman has to be the good guy. He has to be the good guy because, oh my god, we can't actually showcase how fucking Batman is fucking, he's a hypocrite and he is pretty idiotic and puts people in danger by fucking making sure that every single goddamn criminal has to fucking, we can't put a permanent end to anyone because it makes us no better than them. It's like there's a fucking difference between murdering innocents and killing the Joker. One fucking guy, and suddenly, oh yeah, Superman is suddenly the bad guy. And his stupid fucking bullshit at the end of Injustice 2, it's like, oh, we cannot kill Brainiac. It's like, why not? He killed trillions. It's like, it's not just freaking. I don't even think they did a good job at trying to actually make us, hard to choose one side or the other. The fucking insurgency are a bunch of hypocritical fucking monsters, and the regime is hardly any better. An injustice. It's like, yeah, let's put a accessory to mass murder in the Justice League. Yeah, that totally isn't going to work out well. And if you go by the comic books, if you actually read the comic books or actually know anything about the comic book, it gets even worse. Batman literally makes a deal with the devil to try to stop Superman. Thousands of people are killed because of Batman's actions, and yet his hands are somehow clean. The Injustice is a poorly written fucking story of people that do not understand how fascism works. And I'm sick and tired of the evil Superman archetype. It's been done to death at this point. Not to mention, there's no nuance in the Injustice universe. It's like, and Wonder Woman. Why couldn't Wonder Woman been neutral between Batman and Superman? It don't get me started on what they did to Wonder Woman in the Injustice universe. It's like, it's just, character assassination. I don't care if it's an Elseworld story. If you're going to make Superman into a fascist and Wonder Woman into an evil fucking fascist too, wouldn't it make more sense for Batman to be the exact same way? Batman is not even a paragon of fucking good. He's a freaking, he uses fear to freaking control criminals, to actually fucking, I'm sorry, it's just the stupidity of the Injustice, universe. Honestly, by the way, when I'm referring to I hate Batman, I'm referring to Injustice Batman, because there's no nuance in Injustice about, why would these characters be doing this? It's a really bad fucking version of Watchmen. It's like you have a bunch of freaking fanboys on the internet. It's like, oh yeah, I like the Watchmen comic. It was really good. What did you like about the Watchmen comic? And they probably just like look at like anything but the actual fucking story of Watchmen on why the Watchmen was great. Watchmen was a good comic because it actually showed a world where if superheroes existed, it actually would be not a world you would want to live in. The Chameleon is essentially a combination between Captain America and the Punisher. And what realistically would that kind of person be like? And fucking the Chameleon was a monster. He was a literal fucking Nazi. He killed people for fun. And when you actually see him in the Watchmen novel, when you read the Watchmen graphic novel, you know what I mean. You can't help but feel revulsion when you actually see what kind of person this person was. Rorschach is like a hypocrite, like he's a mentally disturbed, individual that is exactly what Batman would be, realistically. I mean, the very fact that come on, wears a bat suit, punches people who are like disabled mentally and doesn't do any, is basically be a part of the problem. Manhattan thinking himself being above humans. It's like they took everything about Injustice and learned the long lessons from it. You want to do a, good justice story? You have Watchmen. But even still, they're incapable of actually replicating what Alan Moore did, because Alan Moore is a better writer than most of the writers of DC and freaking Marvel. Yeah, he was. I didn't even know about that. Okay, Injustice is a fun fighting game to play. So if we're just judging it based on the gameplay and how fun it is to play as certain characters in a fighting game setting, like doing certain matchups that we, like Superman versus Starfire or Darkseid or Batman fighting, other superheroes or villains. That's cool. If you're playing it specifically for the fighting, Injustice is a fun game to play. But if we're going by the story of Injustice, it's fucking shit. It really is shit. It's like people just learn the wrong lessons from like the Watchmen comic, and it shows. Like anybody that actually, a lot of the people who talk about how great the Watchmen comic is, they probably can't tell you what they liked about the comic. I mean, it's one of the most political comic books of all time. Every single issue showed in graphic detail on what kind of people these heroes are that we're reading about. And you're not sure if you like these people or just hate them. People just liked it for the superficial aspect of it. Oh, the art was pretty cool. Oh man, I like, what this guy has to say. Oh man, I actually agree with Rorschach. And yeah, there's people who actually agree with Rorschach, which I question your morality. And do we have to have a likable, characters for a story to be good? No. I hate fucking the characters that I'm reading in Watchmen. No, not as people. They're awful. Rorschach is a great character, but I hate his guts. I think Manhattan is a great character, and I hate his guts too. I think Watchmen is a great story of majority of the characters you just love to hate, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. If Injustice had approached Batman and Superman in that way to make basically every single faction wrong and have a middle ground faction that basically says fuck you to both of them, we could have had a good, interesting universe in Injustice. Batman representing, one side, Superman representing the other, and Wonder Woman representing the middle. Like how Batman and Superman are both wrong, and they are wrong. But the game itself is framing Batman as morally right and Superman being in the wrong when it's like, no. It's not. Yes. I will give my thoughts on them like later. But this is based on my first impressions of the Watchmen novel, graphic novel. I haven't finished the whole book yet, but what I've read of it so far is a brilliant fucking comic. It has the artwork is great. That's the visual storytelling of Watchmen. In fact, I probably should do a fucking stream about Watchmen one of these days after I read it a second time, because it is that good of a story. The Watchmen if you want to tell a superhero story that's more realistic, The Watchmen is a good guide for that. I just feel like, Injustice in general is just one of those, series of, stories that it could have been good had they actually showed that Batman is actually morally wrong too. It isn't just Superman that's wrong. Batman's also wrong because what he's doing is almost as bad as Superman, if not worse, considering that Batman, he is not necessarily innocent in the Injustice world, considering by not killing the Joker, he might as well have killed all those people and that the Joker killed. And okay, I understand the real world reason why Batman doesn't kill. I understand, because he's afraid of going down a dark path of never coming back from it. But then again, let's be real. The real reason is if Batman killed the Joker, then they wouldn't be able to use that character for future comics, and they have to keep the Joker around because of comic sales. I understand that. But in an Elseworld story where you have room to actually experiment, to actually show a different side of a character that you cannot show because you're bogged down by continuity. Injustice would have been a perfect time and perfect example of showcasing the Batman. Him not killing the Joker was actually Batman is just as much to blame for what happened as Clark Kent is, if not more so. And if I have done injustice, I would have had Wonder Woman been one of the actual hero of the story, not Batman, not Superman, and how Wonder Woman actually would have actually been focusing on actually protecting the people. Because if you really think about it, Superman and Batman and Injustice is just two fucking egos just battling out with each other. Neither one of them care about the people, and that's why the regime is wrong, and the insurgency is also wrong. They're not battling, for the fucking people. They're just battling for ideas that are like, if Batman truly cared about the people, he would actually not just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to let this dangerous weapon of mass destruction live who will potentially terrorize the world again. No, I'm just going to hang on to my stupid, like, I'm never going to kill policy, even though the character in the comics was never like that. And it's just taking that, character trait of Batman and just amping it up to the point where it's fucking, it's lunacy at this point. I cannot comment on Lex Luthor in the Injustice universe. For this discussion, I'm mostly focusing on Batman and Superman because they're the most fleshed out characters in the Injustice world. And I just feel like they mishandled them. Like, Injustice is a good example on how liberals cannot write stories that actually criticizes fascism because they don't understand it themselves. Because fascists will always rise under a liberal government because liberalism is unable to combat fascism. Like, Batman just represents that mentality. Oh, he represents the liberal that, they could permanently end the problem, but doesn't do it because their ideology is incapable of fighting against it. Why is Batman incapable of defeating Superman? Because of his stupid ideology of every person has a right to live, even though certain people are in danger. It could endanger millions. Like, Batman his no kill policy in the Injustice universe is not just dumb, it's irresponsible. I can understand in the mainline continuity why he wouldn't do it, but in Elseworld stories, in my opinion, I feel like authors should take advantage of all that creative freedom that an Elseworld story offers you. Because only in Elseworld stories can you have characters die or actually commit, questionable acts, because you don't have to worry about, backlash from fans because this doesn't matter. This is just a non-canon what-if story. Yeah, Damian Wayne was it's like Damian Wayne is portrayed as being right, being wrong. It's like, what the fuck? Not to mention, Batman is an abusive fucking father too. It's like, yeah, Damian Wayne killed Dick Grayson. That was wrong and that was stupid. But if you pay, but he didn't actually enjoy killing Dick Grayson. He actually regrets it. But everything just serves to make Batman out to be more morally correct than Superman. Like, oh, Dick Grayson dies. It's like, the fact that he doesn't actually lose it is ridiculous. Or when Alfred dies, I don't know. I don't know much about the Injustice comics, but if he does die, the fact that Batman hasn't lost it himself It's like if they really wanted to actually explore Batman, they could have just showed a case where Batman lost control and killed someone, just like Superman did, and you could have had a actual legitimate confrontation with Superman and Batman. How Superman points out Batman's hypocrisy, how he is killed before himself, and he insists that others don't kill, yet he breaks his own rule, time and time again. In fact, if you wanted to actually make a more interesting Batman, you could have also had Batman actually break his own no-kill rule. And you could have done that multiple times. And you could have shown that Batman is no different than Superman when it comes to a kill policy. It's like, why is it that when writers write Elseworld stories, they're always willing to give us a dark side of Superman and show that Superman this is wrong, yet we're never given that opportunity with Batman? I mean, seriously, Batman doesn't actually get that same treatment. If you want to do a proper injustice story, you make them both hypocrites. So you don't make it so, Superman is wrong and Batman is right. No, you make it so, Batman's wrong and so is Superman. And I don't understand how anybody can actually justify siding with Batman, considering the fact that Batman in the Justice universe is responsible for a majority of the things that had happened. Had he simply been a good friend to Clark Kent instead of berating him for killing the fucking Joker in the first place, none of that shit in Justice would have happened had he had simply been a friend. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't consider this bad writing. But I just consider that the fact that nobody calls Batman out, really, for basically causing Superman's downfall in the first place, like, he's not to blame for it as well. He's always in the right. And this is an argument can be made that this version of Batman's kind of a Gary Sue, considering the fact that according to the writers, he can't do anything wrong. Jesus, I've been ranting about Injustice for like God knows how long. But it still stands. My criticisms of Injustice when it comes to liberals, doing stories about putting characters that like Superman and making them fascists and using that as an opportunity to critique fascism. I do think you could apply this criticism to other stories that liberals are incapable of criticizing fascism, because in a capitalist society, you cannot criticize fascism properly unless you are an anti-capitalist. The reason why The Watchmen works so well, same thing with V for Vendetta, is Alan Moore, even though I do not agree with anarchism, I think anarchism is evil. Not evil. I don't mean evil. I think anarchism is something I don't agree with. But I actually think that, him actually simply being an anti-capitalist, I feel like gives a story like Watchmen more credibility when it comes to anti-fascism than anything that Marvel and DC has ever written. It's just liberals and cannot criticize fascism because they support fascism. They enable it. They enable it by doing nothing. Like the 4 years that Trump was president, what did liberals do? What did the liberals do? That every criticism they had of Trump was not, anything more than superficial shit. And when they actually criticized Trump for legitimate things like locking children in cages, which Obama did first and Bush before him, or the police brutality that happened in 2020, they enabled the fascism of Trump and his supporters because they fucking stood by and did nothing. I mean, let's just be real here, and we're gonna get a worst Trump whether it's in 4 years or whether it's in 8 years, we're going to get a worse Trump. And the liberals are going to do nothing. The midterms, the Democrats are going to get fucking slaughtered in the midterms because what we've been seeing this year, they have offered nothing. I feel vindicated that I didn't vote for Biden. I feel vindicated. For those riding with Biden folks, fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. What has changed under Biden's presidency? Nothing, just like Biden promised. Like prudential leave, like that. It's like, what the fuck kind of sick country do we live in where parents have to work as soon as their child is born, instead of like spending time with their kids so they can actually bond with their newborn children? Nope, we can't do that. Fucking child labor is being brought back. Fucking every fucking thing that people have been fighting for, like a $15 minimum wage, that's basically been thrown out the toilet. Medicare for all, that as well. It's like the fucking Democrats are not doing anything. And not to mention, I argue fascism is actually stronger now than it was under Trump. Like fucking, yeah, fucking robot dogs with fucking guns mounted on them. It's like, do not be fucking shocked if those dogs are weaponized against protesters in the future, in the near future. It's like this whole thing with Trump was nothing more than fear-mongering. Like, I cannot believe it's almost been a year. And the fact that I have to say I'm right about fucking Biden, there's people better than I am that could fucking do that. Like, all you fucking simps out there, like, right-wing watch, for someone that claims to be fucking looking after what right-wing people do, you don't look at very closely to the Democratic Party. I mean, fucking robot dogs fucking having fucking guns. Yeah, you Dusty Smith, yeah, you don't fucking talk about this. I bet you won't too. That the Democrats are fucking more fascist than the Republicans. I mean, for God's sake, the Democrats, are more evil than the Republicans. The only reason the Republicans appear to be more evil because they're more open about their fucking evil. It's like, how many fucking times do we have to fucking deal with a fucking, like, psychopathic fucking president like Trump before people wake the fuck up? Voting for fucking Biden hasn't gotten you anywhere. In fact, I argue we've been seeing more homophobia under Biden than we did under Trump. Yes, we did. Yeah, I know. And don't get me started on, like, how California almost had a fucking crazy fucking Republican fucking governor who was the exact same when it came to issues of trans and abortions. Like, holy fuck, California, we dodged a bullet. But do you think we're gonna be lucky forever, Californians? Those who are unfortunately are stuck here. Eventually, we're gonna get some crazy fucking nut job that will actually do what they've done in Texas. You can't escape fascism in America. It's everywhere in this country. It's everywhere. Like, everybody says that was scared that Trump is going to enact all the fascism. Well, guess what? We're in October, almost November at this point, and look what you have here. In not even a year, Biden has actually inserted more fascism in America in like 10 months than Trump has in 4 years. Trump fucking him being defeated didn't slow down the rise of fascism. It's actually accelerating. Like a anarchist from Florida is going to prison because, God forbid, he says we should defend ourselves from the fascists who stormed the Capitol. Yeah, I wish I was making this up. An anarchist it's basically losing 5 years of his life because he says we should defend ourselves. Where the fuck is your outrage, fucking right-wingers, when it comes to freedom of speech? Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't matter because you're all secretly fascists. It's like, where the fuck are you, Caleb Maupin? Where the fuck are you, Paz? Where the fuck are you, Jackson Hinkle? Where the fuck that Fed's name is? Where the hell are you? Where the fucking hell are you? You have people's freedom of speech actually suppressed. Oh, because they don't matter because this guy was probably an ultra. You know what? Fuck off. Fascism is actually in America, and none of these fucking people are interested in actually discussing it. The only thing they care about is them fucking selves. Oh, but wait, we'll send for fucking China because China is socialist, rather than actually talk about fucking how America is fucking going down the fucking shitter and fucking fascism is actually becoming more and more open. No, we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about how great China is, even though we don't speak 1 ounce of Chinese, and nor do we actually live in fucking China. No, yeah, we're just going to do that. Yeah, continue to call everyone an ultra. Continue to call everyone who fucking disagrees with you that because all you're doing is just serving the fucking interests of the fucking feds. Like, we are literally dealing with fascism, and all you fucking egotistical clowns, care about is fucking canceling somebody because, God forbid, Jason Unruh, actually has the balls to actually have principles. Just because you actually embrace things that are popular doesn't mean you're correct. That is true. It's like, I'm as angry as I am because we have supposed fucking Marxists who talk just like right-wingers. It's like, how the fuck are you any different from fucking someone like Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder if you're fucking supporting the same positions they do? It's like, don't get me started on Haas and his unhinged thing about showing solidarity to Netflix. Oh, yes, I'm such a Marxist that I'm going to show solidarity to a fucking corporation. Yeah, I'm gonna show solidarity to a corporation rather than it's like, not talk about it because it's not important. Nope, you're just gonna talk about it. It's like Caleb Haas, all these fucking people, they don't care about working people. They don't care. They don't care about people like me who are on the brink all the time, who are on a knife's edge when it comes to finances. They don't care about us. They don't care about us. They don't care about us. They don't care about people like me. They don't care about people like you. They don't care. They just want to cater to the fucking fascists that try to fucking storm the Capitol. Those are the people that they want to fucking, cater to. Not the actual working class, but fucking middle class fuckheads who have never fucking experienced real poverty, who never lived on a shoestring. No, they want to cater to those people because us poors are too dirty. Yeah. And is it no coincidence how most people that are Maoists, third worldists, or anarchists for that matter, is it no coincidence how most of us are fucking poor? Are poor as dirt? How we're barely getting by? Is it any coincidence? It's almost as if they subconsciously know this and they just use this as an excuse to push down. If I'm angry as a result, it's because I'm going through my own trouble right now. And it's like ridiculous. These people don't take the threat of fascism in America seriously. They're fucking supporting fascists. Fucking anybody that's anti-Antifa, if you're anti-Antifa, you're a fascist. I don't make up these rules. It's just common sense because Antifa is anti-fascist. If you actually support anti-Antifa action, you are a fascist. And if you are afraid of Antifa, good. You should be. Every fascist who's afraid of Antifa, live in fear. Live in fear of Antifa. You deserve it because real, normal people, we don't fucking want to live in your fucking world. We don't want to fucking live in fear of you. So if you're going to fucking be an anti-fascist, then bring it fucking on. If you call yourself a Marxist and you're anti-Antifa, then you're nothing more than a fucking Nazbol weirdo. Now, just because you disagree with me doesn't mean I think you're a fascist. So I'm going to say this right now. I'm pretty sure there's people that do agree with me. Some of the time, most of the time. I'm not going to consider them a fascist if they disagree with me on certain points. However, if you actually support the positions of Caleb and Haas, you're my enemy. And you're the enemy of the working class. If you actually think working class people are going to want to associate with people talking down to them, there's another fucking thing coming. People who are working 3 fucking jobs, who are on the brink of homelessness as it is, or are homeless, we don't fucking got time for your fucking bullshit. If you're not serious about socialism, get the fuck out of the way. That's just what I have to say. That's just what I have to say. This isn't a fucking game. This is not a goddamn game. There's a real legitimate threat of fascism, and you have people on the internet who are more interested in building a fucking cult than actually building socialism. I mean, look no further than Ewoks Unhinged. Remember that channel? For those of you who actually remember that Ewoks Unhinged, how that channel actually at one point, this is when I was part of it, actually cared about building anti-fascist action, who actually took the threat of fascism seriously instead of now cozying up to them. Who are treating this fucking bullshit as a career. I don't care how popular I am. I don't care how many people, agree with me or not. I care about being correct, and I care about my fucking principles. And if majority of the people, reject what I have to say, fine. As long as you're respectful, I'll listen. But doesn't mean you're correct. If this comes off as just some angry rambling, it's just what I've been saying in the past week. It's just, it has disturbed me, and it has also angered me just how little, like, the so-called Marxists who are pursuing careerism are taking the threat of fascism seriously. If you could get locked up for basically saying we should defend ourselves against fascists, then we live in a fascist state. That's only a matter of time before you will be locked up. But nobody cares. It doesn't seem like any of these people care because they're all about their own career. They're not about actually doing anti-fascist action. They're all about building a fucking cult. Cultism is all these things these people care about. They're not interested in actually building an anti-fascist action. You know what? If I'm repeating myself, I don't care. I don't know why I have to repeat myself. But it seems like I have to beat it in your goddamn fucking skulls that we're dealing with a legitimate threat. And we're not even at the worst of it yet. These people are just getting warmed up. Bloodthirsty fascists. People have been looking forward to this for generations. People who have actually want to and are looking to shoot to kill. That is what we're seeing. These people will gladly do it. They want a fucking bloodbath. Freaking a lot of these people, if you were to strip the internet, if you strip them of their cult, what do you have? A man. I'm just a man with a microphone and a crappy computer. I'm nobody special. Anybody can do what I do. Anybody could actually say what I'm saying, and in a lot of cases, do it better. This is what's frustrating to me. Anybody can do this. Anybody in my audience can do what I do. You can do it too. Don't think you can't do it. You can. You are capable of doing it too. All you need is a mic and a shitty computer and maybe a phone, whatever device you have. You could do what I do. It doesn't take skill what I'm doing. All you need is passion and giving a shit. That's what you need. That's what you need. And none of these people I see give a shit. They're all out for themselves. They would sell the working class to the highest bidder if it meant they can get ahead. The B liberals, the Moppins, the fucking Hawes, Jackson Hakel, all these people, they don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves. They're all out for themselves. They're all out to build a fucking cult or be part of a cult. They don't give a shit about anyone. They don't give a shit about anyone in their own country or in the third world. I don't just care about people in the third world. I care about my own countrymen too. There's people in that I know personally. I don't want them to suffer or live in a fascist regime. There's people I've known all my life. I don't want to see them suffer. Yeah, I may be angry and maybe hate a good chunk of the population, but that doesn't mean I hate all of them. That I don't desire to save, sections of the population. We are at the end game when it comes to capitalism. This isn't a goddamn game. And the fact that everybody that I'm fucking talking about treats this shit like a game. From the very goddamn start, I've taken anti-fascism seriously. From the very fucking start. Sure, I may have, done some shit on the side. Still do, actually. The original reason I started to do politics in the first place, whether it's on Ewoks Unhinged and then eventually going out solo on my own channel, is because I wanted to actually speak. Because I'm sick and tired of doing nothing. What I'm doing, I could be doing something out in my own community that'd be far more effective. And that's an argument that would be valid. And you would be correct. And I would love to do that. And if I could get in touch with people in Orange in my area actually, communists, I can get organized, I would gladly do that. I just need to get to know some people. I would rather be doing something, anything, whether it's a mic, whether it's organizing outside the internet, anything to actually bring this attention. I'm just one dude with a microphone and a shitty computer. I'm nobody special. And I really think that we need to take this seriously. In all honesty, I just don't. I do not want to see everything that I care about be burned and destroyed. But none of these people care. And yeah, I know. I'm sorry if this stream got really dark and really serious. But it's just how it is. In late stage capitalism, we will be dealing with a lot of opportunists and the people that I've mentioned. They won't be the last opportunists that we will be dealing with, and they certainly weren't the first. I'm not going to tell you to just read theory if you want to understand all this stuff, because you could read a lot of theory and it won't mean a goddamn thing if you don't have a real life application for it. Theory can only get you so far. You need experience. You need to use that knowledge and get experience using that knowledge. Good ideas, as Mao said, come through experience. We're not going to be able to get experience unless we actually use what we've learned and gain experience from it. And we're likely going to fail just as much, if not more, than we'll succeed. But when we do succeed, we will learn why we succeeded and why we failed before, and we'll actually become better for it. It's a long process. What I'm talking about, it will take many years to get to where I am. Hell, it's going to take me many years before I can see myself being a proper Marxist myself. But it's not about how much you read, it's about what you read and the experience you gain from using that knowledge. That is what's important. That is what is important. And in all honesty, I don't know what more I could say about the subject. I've repeated myself too many times as it is. Okay. Fuck. This would definitely make a good segment for the highlight, which I will edit this. So everything I just said, I'm going to edit it as a separate stream because, well, video, whatever, because I think it's too damn good to keep it in this stream. So yeah. Yeah, the thing is, being an entertainer is not easy. Honestly, ranting is something any moron can do. Before I freaking did politics, long before I did Star Wars, I just ranted about everything and anything because that's just what I did. For those of you who were around in the classic era, you weren't. A lot of any of you who are watching it, I don't even know where my original audience is. They probably are all gone, either because they
left YouTube or they were turned off by my political shift to the left when I started, speaking out against, the right, and did it more aggressively. But the fact that remains is when I started off on YouTube in 2008, I ranted. Not everything that I ranted about mattered. I ranted about bullshit regarding a series I was a fan of at the time. Then I ranted about video games. Then I ranted about fucking current events. And I ranted about shit on YouTube. Then I ranted about people, the way YouTube treated this a content creator that I like, or ranting about fucking another shitty movie, or ranting about how much I hated the fucking 2014 Ninja Turtles movie, or how much I fucking hated the fucking fanboys of TMNT, or fucking, oh good god, defending certain decisions by companies. But this, mind you, this was back before I read, Marxism, and before the thing with Bernie Sanders and Trump. 2015 did change everything, though. I will say that much. My channel shifted. It, I did start, my growth on my channel did actually grow faster than it did previously. I had a little over 100 subscribers when I started. I mean, when I started doing Star Wars content, and then when I started doing more, Star Wars content, my channel just grew and grew and grew and grew. And then during the Fandom Menace, or pre-Fandom Menace phase, of the internet, I had the fastest growth in my channel's history. My channel would be nowhere near as big as it is if it weren't for the Last Jedi Backlash. But then again, in the Last Jedi Backlash, I went through a huge shift in my political thought, because I couldn't, stomach, Trump and his supporters. I hated them. And then of course, everything came to head in 2019 regarding, I think this is where my channel has basically become its current state, where I took stands against fascists and the Star Wars fandom, and then I took a stand against the Fandom Menace, and basically rejected the EU community's bullshit regarding the Fandom Menace, and essentially went our separate ways. To that, my channel has been through a lot of changes in the past, 13 years. A lot of changes. Of course, I don't have any of those videos up. It would have been if there's anybody that's watching this that has all those older videos archived, I would gladly upload them again, at least some of them. But again, I'm not gonna cry, over spoiled milk, because, well, let's be real. Honestly, in a majority of the content that I made pre 2015 was not good, and I deleted it for a reason. Of course, this channel probably went through a huge shift, the most that it's ever been in the past year, purely because me and B Liberal were drifting apart, and I could no longer use Ewoks Unhinged to, push my political views. And rather than just stop doing it and stick to Star Wars content completely, I took the opposite direction and just did my own videos, and that's where you see it today. It's unfortunate that the Star Wars reviews that I've done no longer get the attention that they once did, because of how the YouTube algorithm currently works, streaming is usually what gets attention now, because people would rather watch really, really long videos. And I argue a podcast, a stream, that kind of format of videos are usually really popular. And yeah, I prefer doing, pre-recorded videos, but I understand where the direction of YouTube is going, and I kind of have to go with the flow. And even though I don't really super care about views, I still would like my videos to be watched, especially when I feel like I have a really, really good message and I don't want people to actually, you know, I want them to actually be seen. So an only way for my videos to be seen is to actually do the format that's the most popular. Of course, I, as a result of me doing solo streams more, I am less reliant on guests, and I haven't had as many guests because for me, I actually think having a guest and relying on them all the time is nothing more than a crutch. Because if you have nothing to say that's going to entice your audience to watch you, then you're not really worth a damn in the first place. Or you don't have the competence to actually say the points you have them say on your own. And of course, there are points where having a guest is actually good, like Deadman Animations back in July. One of the best stream I've done this year, and arguably best collab I've ever had in general. Like the 4th of July, stream, that was great. One of the best streams I've ever done. And I encourage anyone who's watching that to archive that stream because I think it's important. The issues that we all talk about are important. And I felt honored having someone like Deadman on a stream like that. Now, enough with that. Anyway, I know some people come here for various different reasons. Some people like to hear my political takes. Some people like to hear my, stuff on geek culture, and some just like to listen to everything. In all honesty, I think this format I've done that's open ended, where I basically have the freedom to talk about whatever I want and whatever topics that I think are good, I edit them as separate videos. Like this part of the stream is going to be intact, but the previous section where I basically ranted about, infantile leftists in quotations who are more like right wingers, it's just something that I had to get out of my system because I see fascism in front of me, and I don't feel like any of these clowns are taking fascism seriously or the rise of fascism. And they cherry pick quotes from other people of what isn't fascism or what is fascism in order to shield their fascistic beliefs, even though anybody who actually understands Marxism knows that these fucking weirdos are just fucking fascists who just use a Marxist aesthetic. That's just all it is. It's fascism with a Marxist aesthetic. And these people are not doing anything to fight against fascism. They're aiding the rise of fascism. And that's what makes me angry. Because I see fascism rising in my home area. I see it rising all over the internet as well. And we have Caleb Maupin assisting with the rise of fascism by enabling people like Haas, who outright, openly collaborates with fucking fascists. It's like, who are the real fascists here? fucking these people that are openly aiding fascists, and it angers me that these people are taken seriously. We're literally dealing with like one of the worst fucking crisis in history. We're in the middle of the sixth mass extinction. The planet fucking is like fucking heating up. Climate change is going to potentially kill us all. Fascism could potentially accelerate the fucking death of humanity, and these people are more interested in their goddamn ego. They're not interested in trying to actually resist fascism. You can't resist fascism with just fucking holding peace signs or fucking debating people. You don't debate fascists. You don't. And I can't say what you should do because it should be obvious what you should do. Resist. We have to resist by any means necessary. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're not serious about resisting fascism, then you're aiding its rise. You're aiding the fascists in the first place, and you're not a friend of the proletariat. You're the enemy of the proletariat. It doesn't matter that you may hate Biden. It doesn't matter. You still have similar views as him. You're still aiding the fucking rise of fascism by fucking not resisting it, by enabling it. I don't care if fucking this gets thumbs down massively by the Caleb cult or the fucking Haz cult. If you support these people, you're a fucking fascist. Don't fucking go around and tell me that I'm fucking some ultra leftist, whatever nonsense you want to fucking pull out of your ass. I don't fucking care. Fuck off. Go ahead. I don't care. You guys, if you were serious about fighting fascism, you wouldn't be fucking supporting fucking someone like Haz or Caleb. It's like, you people disgust me. It's like you have sexism by the fucking right. You have fucking fascism by the fucking pseudo left, and then you have freaking so-called Marxists who basically are the exact same way as open fascists, or fucking people that pretend they're not fascists. Like, what difference does Caleb and his views or fucking Haz compared to fucking the likes of Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Vosh, freaking Counterpoints, Destiny? What's the difference between all you people? There is none. Your fucking hate for fucking BreadTube is nothing more than childish nonsense. BreadTube is a gift to you because it just shields you from fucking responsibility. The responsibility of enabling fucking fascism in the first place. Every single person that you people have criticized in the past, you're just like them. The exact same. Never trust the middle class. And I'm just going to end my stream with this. Never trust the middle class. They will always stab you in the back, and they'll always aid in the rise of fascism. Down with fucking fascists. It doesn't matter what fucking skin that they fucking, have. It doesn't matter if they are a fucking so-called Marxists who are more like Nazguls. I don't care if they use imagery that's somewhat fucking anti-fascist, even though their action says otherwise. Down with all fascists. Down with fascism. 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 And down with pseudo fucking Marxists who claim to be Marxists, and fuck them. And Solidarity to the oppressed people of the world. Solidarity to the freedom fighters around the world. Solidarity to every comrade that is struggling, whatever they are on the globe. Solidarity. Long live the proletariat.